has come out. And we'll tell you about that one, whether he passed or failed, but I will telling you some things. Um, what else is happening this weekend? Yeah, the battle for the Premier League is back on this weekend. And Arsenal fans, you'll be praying for a new manager bounce for Leicester City. But we'll see how all of that pans out. But first of all, we have to touch on the NBA. It's that time of the season. We are just about to get into the playoffs, but we need two more teams. And we're going to find out tonight who those two teams are. But let's start from the NBA, and then we go to Monte Carlo, where somebody's son witnessed his father being beat.
All right, don't forget you can be a part of the conversation. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981 or catch the live streams up on our YouTube, Smooth981 FM Lagos. NBA, Chicago Bulls and Oklahoma City Thunder win first play-in games to stay in playoff contention. Monte Carlo Masters, Novak Djokovic beating at Last-16 stage.
He was his son. His son was cheering his father 1 minute like this. Next thing, his father was rolling on the ground.
Oh, no.
Don't take your children to work. This is why you shouldn't.
Sadio Mane, Bayern Munich suspend forward after claims he punched Leroy Sané. Okay. Lisandro Martinez, Manchester United defender, visibly upset after injury. Assistant referee to face no further action for Robertson elbow. This sport is getting very violent. Man City target perfect 10. Villarreal say Baena files police reports after he alleged assault. PSG showdown with title rivals learns overshadowed by Gaultier allegations.
Yes, so a lot of back talk with that. They said when the coach was when he was manager of Nice, which was just last season, that he had some he said some things that were Islamophobic and racist. And this is only resurfacing now that PSG is about to take on loan. So it's an issue. His lawyer had to make a statement. PSG has not even given him a bodyguard because you know that in Paris they don't play. Yeah. So Paris Hotel was like, if it's real, we are going to scatter the place. So PSG was just like, let's just give him bodyguards to walk around with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you see a convoy and a siren coming, it's not Emmanuel Macron. It could be the PSG manager. But let's start from the NBA.
The Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunders remain in hunt for a place in the NBA playoffs after winning their first play-in games on Wednesday.
Yes, huge one. So the play-in, and oh god, the NBA has found a way to make mad money from just the play-ins. Full arenas, players with a lot of excitement because this is another postseason. But the big news here, Lakers played and they're through to the playoffs. But Chicago Bulls defeated Toronto Raptors. Now let me tell you a storyline. Several years ago, Toronto Raptors had this amazing player called DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan said he woke up one morning and found out he was being traded to San Antonio Spurs. He really didn't want to leave, but he was traded. Anyway, he went to San Antonio Spurs, has been around the block, and he now plays for Chicago Bulls. And he now knocked out Toronto Raptors. It was like sweet revenge.
Exactly.
And then so Minnesota Timberwolves are the team they face tonight to see if they can get their playoff spot. Miami Heat is also in the run for the playoff spots. They play also tonight. So let's see how. I mean, you watch the play-in tournaments and you're like, these people could all have been in the playoffs easy, easy, but they had to struggle for it. So let's see how it works out tonight. But immediately after tonight, then we know which teams face which, and I can start telling you exactly my permutations for who wins what. I can tell you that Sacramento Kings taking on Golden State Warriors now. That one is going to go to Game 7. Wow. That one I can tell you for free. But let's see the rest of the matchups, and then I'll give you my permutations of all the playoffs. Yeah.
All right. Wait, Chicago Bulls, was that the one that the player had his daughter in the stands screaming? Oh, that was so cute. Bring your daughter to work day. She might help you cheat to win.
No. That's how you not bring. They'll not see you being beat. Don't bring your children to work.
World number one Novak Djokovic suffered a shock loss in 3 sets to Italian Lorenzo Musetti in the third round at the Monte Carlo Masters. I'm struggling not to cry, Musetti said. It's an emotional win because it was a really long match, And Djokovic said, I don't think it's catastrophic, but my feeling is bad right now because I lost the match. Well, my feeling is terrible after playing like this, honestly. But congrats to him. He stayed tough in important moments, and that's it. That is all I can say.
Yeah, and that was key. So let me take your minds back to several years ago. Lorenzo Musetti, I think as a teenager then, met a Novak Djokovic in the French Open. Now, Lorenzo Musetti played brilliantly. Unfortunately for him, Novak Djokovic can be a little bit like um an Eastern African athlete. You know, the longer the race, the more likely they are to win it. So he just stretched the match. So Musetti took the first two sets, and in the third set, Novak Djokovic broke, and he just found a way to extend the match. By the time he got all the way to five sets, Musetti eventually retired. He was already losing anyway, but eventually retired with an injury. Fast forward to this year, I knew that the matchup was going to be interesting. I just didn't think Novak Djokovic was going to lose in Monte Carlo in this round of 16 and to Lorenzo Musetti. But this guy, he the first set they traded a bit of breaks. Djokovic eventually took that. I was like, yeah, we have resumed back to normal. Turns out second set was very different. They kept trading breaks with each other. I must also mention that Novak Djokovic is struggling with some kind of elbow injury. However, I've seen him struggle with an elbow injury in the Grand Slams and win it. You know, it's almost as if he doesn't feel pain in the Grand Slams, but in Masters and ATP 500, it's like, it's not that serious. But he really wanted to win. He was so angry. There was a time he even broke his racket when he lost the second set. He really wanted to win it. Unfortunately, Musetti said no. And fortunately for Musetti, it wasn't another five set tournament. It's just three. And so he took the third set and eventually won the match. Congratulations to him. But for Novak Djokovic, well, he'll have to look for another tournament to prepare to win the Roland Garros, because that's when you get older, like he has gotten older, they start focusing a lot more on the major ones, the Grand Slams, and I think that's where his focus is now. So he's just using these tournaments to kind of prepare. If he wins it, great. If he doesn't, no. It's just sad that his son was in the crowd and he was so disappointed because the guy was in it too. He was cheering his father. He was. Then daddy lost.
Wow.
Now you cannot go back home and tell your child, you know, when I was in school, I came first. Your child be like, Daddy, I saw you lose.
And you almost cried.
And you almost cried, Daddy. You even broke your racket, Daddy. You can't tell those lies, but yeah, it's that one.
Okay. Bayern Munich have left Sadio Mane out of their squad for Saturday's league match against Hoffenheim amid reports that he punched his teammates.
Yeah, so it's crazy. After the match, everybody was talking about how Pep Guardiola really dusted Thomas Tuchel. Whose fault was it? Who should have stayed on the pitch? Who shouldn't have stayed on the pitch? Did Julian Alvarez really come and change the match? Should Leroy Sané have stayed on so long? Yada, yada, yada. Next thing we hear, Sadio Mane punches somebody. Now, if you know anything about Sadio Mane, he's a quiet guy that moves around without any noise. And the assumption is that people that are quiet don't have a bad temper. That's a bad assumption. Because if you're Leroy Sané, you'll be walking around with a bust lip and trying to hide it from the camera and the next day in training. But yeah, it turns out that there was a bust up. Sadio Mane punched Leroy Sané in the mouth. The teammates came and separated them. Both of them came to apologize. Now there are rumors swirling around that Leroy Sané actually called Sadio Mane a black four-letter word that I cannot repeat on any radio. Course. And that's what the rumors are. Nothing has been confirmed, and it's because he called him that. That's why Sadio Mane punched him in the face. Now Sadio Mane is going to be suspended, like he rightly should be, and Sadio Mane is going to pay a fine. My problem with Bayern Munich would be that if Leroy Sané actually called Sadio Mane that name, then Leroy Sané should be suspended. Otherwise, Bayern Munich has no moral ground to be writing to UEFA that they should take action against the Manchester City fans for racial abuse towards Upamecano. Because now this is your player saying stuff. I mean, they're both black.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, one is blacker than the other. You know, Africa, we are we like colorism. Colorism is an issue. But, you know, at the end of the day, if he said something like that, he may not be racist, but that is a...
if he said it, he is racist.
Yeah, that's a racial abuse. I don't know if you can be racist
I mean,
to your race.
no, some people can. People who've
Oh, yes.
internalized self-hate, considering he's biracial
Yeah,
as
but
well.
some people also think that if you're African, you're very different. You're not.
Yeah, like all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
So that Twitter. So can you remember that Twitter space where that guy was talking about
Foundational,
the
right.
foundational black people and the people that came from Africa? Like, look, we are all black. I don't know what people are talking about, and so that can happen. So if he used that word, I would think that Bayern Munich needs to come out and suspend him too, if that what he said is true, because they actually did say he apologized for what he said.
So something was said.
So something was said that wasn't complimentary.
And this is the first time I've ever heard anything negative about Sadio Mane.
I have seen Sadio Mane get really upset in Liverpool. I think he was substituted and he was really mad that somebody didn't pass the ball to him and people were holding him down. I was like, let that man go. Let him go. Let him do something. But yeah, so I've seen that temper before.
Right.
So I'm not surprised.
Oh,
I just want to know exactly what was said. And so if that was said, then Bayern Munich has to do something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let us know what your thoughts are. 0809 4440981. That is the WhatsApp number. Manchester United boss Eric Ten Hag says Lisandro Martinez's injury during the Europa League quarterfinal with Sevilla does not look that great.
I'm telling that was a match. First of all, before we get to that injury, let me just talk about why you should pay your tithe. I don't know how to say it anywhere else, but David De Gea had a great night. Made some incredible saves. He was undone by 2 goals scored by his defenders. This one, they didn't even stab him in the back. It wasn't a Brutus Etu. It was right in front of his face that Malacia and Harry Maguire just deflected the ball into the back of the net. But really tough night for Manchester United. At some point, they looked like they were flying. They were 2 goals up. They were creating more chances. Looked like they were going ahead. Now, Eric Ten Hag decided that, we have a long season. We have other matches to play, and there are some people sitting on the bench that are earning salary that need to come and put in the work. And so he made some substitution. One of the key substitution for me that took out the teeth out of Manchester United's attack was when he took out Bruno Fernandes, and he brought on Vegas. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing here? Because I understand that Bruno Fernandes may have been struggling with some sort of injury. And it just didn't. It was that change. That change immediately blunted the Manchester United threat. And as that got blunted, all the Sevilla players were just like, okay, let's go out on the attack now and try to get some goals. So Manchester United was not really attacking. They're trying to attack on the counter. And Sevilla was with the pressure piling on Manchester United. First goal via a deflection of Malacia, of David De Gea in the back of the net. Second goal of Harry Maguire into the back of the net. It's nothing. 2 own goals. You can complain about the changes, but there's not what David De Gea could do. But it comes down to what Eric Ten Hag did. And he gave the excuse. He said, you know what? Casemiro has been out for a while. He was not sure he had the energy or all it took in the tank to run for 90 minutes. He talked about Bruno Fernandes. He talked about Varane picked up an injury, and then Martinez picked up an injury that looks really bad because nobody touched him. He went down. So at first I thought he fractured his toe because it was the foot. But some people were saying it's around his ankle. So I don't know what it is. So wait to see what that injury is. But too many injuries. The coach has to play the players on the bench. You have to be ready. So it's a tough one for Eric Ten Hag. But Sevilla doing the business, they are known for winning Europa. This is their tournament. Like Rakitic said, this is our tournament. They're known for playing well here. So they've played well. They got the draw they wanted. They're going to go back to Sevilla and see if they can take the second leg. But when we come back, we'll open the phone lines and take your thoughts on Eric Ten Hag's tactical changes. What do you think? But only after this break.
You're so dramatic, but only after this
I don't want to see the phone lines ring.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want the phone lines to ring.
Where's that Leroy guy from?
He's actually from Germany because he was born in Germany. But his father is from Senegal and played for the Senegal national team just like Sadio
Are you
Mane.
serious?
He's a Senegalese by
my days.
from origin.
Sorry?
Oh no no.
Oh, yeah, wait,
He plays for his father is Senegalese. His father is as black as Sadio Mane.
Can you imagine?
So I don't know what the drama is about.
No, some
You
people
just cussed
have
your daddy.
self-hate. All these are, is it Uncle Ruckus, those kind of people?
Yeah. So if you
Wow.
actually did say that, I think Bayern Munich should suspend him.
Absolutely.
But then again, he's a golden boy in Germany. Because yeah, he is. And I've
so
said
he's
it
going
before.
to have some kind of preference.
And Sadio Mane just came there today. You know, you cannot
See, this is how evil people work. They
Yeah.
want people to think you're the problem because you're the new guy, even though they know that that guy is probably problematic.
the guy cannot me. I've never believed this Leroy Sané. I don't even know what people say in him. I don't know what people say. He knows how to run, and it's not 100. Yes, that's all
Yeah,
he
you
knows
should
how
go
to do.
to track now if you can
Exactly.
run.
I'm like, this is not track and field. Run if you know how to run. Go and do track and field. Leave football for people that know how to play football. I've never believed him.
So why is he a golden boy? If all
Himself
he
and
does is
no,
run?
so people they have this potential. Himself and Ousmane Dembele, they're like,
Oh, okay.
they have this wicked foot. But that you see, their skill, their excellence shows up once in a long while.
Oh right, it's
So
like a blue moon.
exactly. So what are we doing? If he can't
Wow.
put up the performance consistently,
Yep.
why is he a golden boy? He's not a golden boy to me.
Serious?
I don't rate him at all. I don't rate him. I don't rate Dembele. They are all just different versions of the Walcott.
Wow. Whatever happened to that fine young boy?
Oh,
he's now old.
He's still fine.
Is it?
Oh,
he's
still
bald.
Ah. Oh no, he's fine with hair.
He has hair now.
Yeah, he shaved the side.
Wait, what?
He's a pretty boy.
Inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1, it's Tega and Zibby here. The WhatsApp number is 0809440981. We're streaming live on YouTube. Smooth 981, just search for us, catch the live stream, and post a comment. Tayo, why did you type and delete? Did you type something that was illegal? Is that why you deleted?
We'll just start. Let's start with AGK first, then we'll get to Tayo's gist. But AGK from Oba says,
So Leroy Sané, in his sane mind, used that uncomplimentary remark and apologized, but the one who reacted got suspended. No difference between this and the Italian FA upholding the second yellow and red card for Lukaku when he reacted to racist chants from the Juve fans after scoring last week.
and he also talks about Harry Maguire, who says,
Just remember that there's need to drop material for banter going into the weekend. He says, hi, Maguire, just remembered. I wonder if he has seen the way he made it into the Ghanaian parliament debate when the CDs crashed a few years ago.
I'm telling you, it was.
He did?
Yeah, he made it. One of the lawmakers spoke about him. But let's go back to football. And this is from Tayo. Tayo says, Harry Maguire and Malaysia working harder than Judas Iscariot. Tayo, put that phone down. But he also says, Mane punched Sane after he was provoked. Mane is being punished and privileged Sane is going to go free. Bayern Munich looking the other way.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of issues in Bayern Munich, and like I said, Leroy Sane is some sort of a golden boy, so can't touch the untouchable. This message from Emeka from Amuwo says,
with the injury to Lisandro Martinez and Varane, we'll definitely be seeing more of Maguire ball in the coming weeks. The banter will be legendary. As regards the EPL referee, when you're the judge and jury of your own case, do we expect anything to happen? Getting an EPL referee suspended is a future impossible tense.
oh wow. And this is from Nii Badamosi. He says, Mane is going through tough times at Bayern and Liverpool are going through tough times too. I'm happy. Now, more tough times for them in Jesus' name. Why, Nii? Why? We just had Easter. Why are you doing this? All right, so let's take the next story. Didn't I want to open the phone lines to discuss
Yes.
Eric Ten Hag? Should we do that? Let's take the next story.
All right. So assistant referee Konstantin Hatzidakis will face no further action from the English FA despite an elbow on Liverpool defender Andy Robertson.
Okay, so I will say this. When I saw the incident that happened, I really actually did think that he was trying to get Robertson to leave him. And so he swung his hand wildly, and that's how it caught Robertson. I would say that was my initial thought. However, I want to say the way the referees will say it. If the case were the reverse, and it was a player that swung his hand wildly, they would have said, oh, he should be more professional, he should comport himself, he should be more responsible, he should be aware that when he swings his hand, he's going to catch something. And because he was that careless, he's going to be punished. That's what they would have said. And that's where I have a problem with it. Because Andy Robertson, yes, is trying to say something to the referee. And
so did he grab the referee?
So I don't want to say he didn't even grab the referee. So he's talking to referee.
He patted him.
Yeah, he puts his hand up like to stop
Okay.
the referee from moving. Referee just, swings. Now
that referee's from the streets of Greece.
I'm just saying it was the way he was like, I'm not listening to whatever you have to say, and then he swung the hand and his elbow catches Robertson. So yes, on a normal day mistake. I'm just saying that if the shoe were on the other foot, there'd be different reasons why he shouldn't have swung his hand. Oh, a professional footballer should know that he shouldn't swing his hands around. They would say all these you will hear all these kind of things. But now, because it's a referee, they're like, yeah, we've looked at all angles, no further action. Really? How cute. Why do we have this selective kind of punishment? Why is an assistant referee swinging his hand?
But did he make contact? Full contact?
Yes, he hit Robertson with his elbow.
Wow. This is a first.
Exactly. So I'm saying he, as an assistant referee, I'm just saying that he could have, dismissed Robertson, and if Robertson didn't answer, he could have told the referee that Robertson was being being disrespectful, and the referee would give Robertson a card. So he had another option.
Right.
He didn't have to swing his hand, because that's exactly what they would have said to a footballer.
Constantine is about that life.
But now they have allowed the guy to come back, and the guy is going to now officiate matches. Well, that's what I said. That's why I say you need to be a referee or a manager. I don't like this being at the bottom of the food chain. Go to the top.
All right, Manchester City are turning up the heat on Arsenal in the Premier League title race as Pep Guardiola's men target a 10th consecutive win when a rather lowly Leicester visit the Etihad on Saturday.
All right, so Leicester City, remember, has announced a new manager after firing Brendan Rodgers in Dean Smith. And Dean Smith is one of those people known to help teams to battle relegation. He's one of those. It's not pretty, it's just effective. So his first test would be to set up that Leicester City side that is a basket for goals from conceding goals against a rampaging Manchester City. Now, Manchester City play before Arsenal. Arsenal play on Sunday. They play against West Ham, which is a London derby, which can completely take a different turn. So Manchester City would be looking to make a statement for them. It's just 6 points between both teams. Should Manchester City win on Saturday, it's now 3 points, and they would have played the same number of matches. So it's important that Manchester City wins. So it's a tough one, because Arsenal is really, at first they were ahead, but now they're playing catch up, which is why even I said it's advantage Manchester City, but they're playing catch up right now. Manchester City is facing a Leicester side that have been conceding goals from everybody and anybody. So that looks like an easy win for Manchester City. However, this is the Premier League, and I've seen Manchester City drop points at the most ridiculous places. So it's not an open and short case. But it still makes the weekend very interesting. I think that because of the high from beating Bayern Munich, Manchester City will come in with that urgency, and they have enough players on the bench and on the pitch to make the difference. Because I know that Pep Guardiola will still be keeping one eye on the Bayern Munich midweek match. So there will be you'd see some changes in players. However, I still think they have what it takes to win. So Arsenal needs to do their job against West Ham on Sunday.
Should we go on to messages?
No, let's take some stories first, and then we'll go on to messages.
Okay, now this one is from Villarreal. Now, winger Alex Baena has filed a police complaint after he was allegedly assaulted following a 3-2 La Liga win at Real Madrid.
Yeah, so I will come to this. Everybody's blood is hot now. People are just on a short fuse globally. It's almost as if you strike a match anywhere to catch fire, because one minute we're hearing the Sadio Mane Leroy Sané fight, and then on the other hand we're hearing that Valverde also punches Baena after the match. Yeah, so it turns out after the defeat, as Villarreal players were about to get on the bus, Valverde had followed Baena and he punches him, and he said something about Baena abusing his parents. So remember, Valverde's, is it wife or let me just say partner to be safe. Partner was pregnant, and she had posted on social media that there was some struggle or complication with the son that she was supposed to give birth to. Eventually, they found out that the son was healthy, and then, according to Valverde, Baena was making fun of the son that could have died. And so it was a comment in poor taste, if you ask me. Baena is saying he didn't say any such thing. And that because they said he said something like that his family has been receiving threats, even via email or social
Mm.
media, and that he's had to report to the police. And then Valverde now punches him. So he punches him, and it's no longer a football issue. So it's not something that La Liga can settle now because Baena has reported an assault case to the police.
Wow.
So now
It's out of their
it's out of
hands.
their hands. So even if La Liga, the two La Liga clubs wanted to sit down and say, let's shake on it, police has been involved. It's going to take a completely different turn. So it's ridiculous what could happen to Valverde. Real Madrid still have the Champions League to contend with. They have a 2-goal lead against advantage against Chelsea. They need the Valverde. They are still in a fight in the La Liga for second place because they're just 3 points ahead of Atletico Madrid. So it'd be ridiculous to end your season because you went to hit somebody. That's not your job. You're not a UFC fighter. Unfortunately, this thing has to be sorted out. But yeah, it's a tough one.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
Everybody
right.
punching everybody now. Zibby,
It's
don't
just
punch me.
so weird.
Don't
I'll
punch
try
me.
not to.
I
I'll
will
make sure the
cry.
live stream has stopped.
I will cry. All right.
PSG face nearest challengers Lens in a crunch game in the Ligue 1 title race on Saturday. Now, this build-up has been overshadowed by accusations made against the capital club's coach Christophe Gaultier.
Yeah, so now Gaultier has his own problems. Number one, the PSG fans are not excited, happy with him. They're like the results have not shown. I hate when they keep saying we have Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, and we are struggling. I'm just like, you have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. They can't play in all positions on the pitch. What you need is solid midfield and defense, and you don't have that. So you can't be calling Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. They're playing the same part of the pitch. It's like saying, I have a great engine, but I don't have two back tires.
Where are you going?
Where are you going? So that's where the problem is. But yeah, they've been unimpressed by his results on the pitch, and then this news now comes out of Islamophobia and racism, from what he has said, and it was the Nice director who sent an email to somebody else to tell them what he had said. So his former boss giving the hot gist. So it's a tough one, and that is kind of taking the focus off the title race. Now, what's important for PSG is to win on Saturday because they play against Lens and they're just 6 points ahead of them. Should Lens win that game, it becomes 3, and it becomes a tighter race. But should PSG win that race, then they can say the title is almost at their doorstep, and that's what they need. They need the comfort of at least the Ligue 1 title, knowing that they've crashed out of the French Cup and they've also crashed out of the Champions League in one of the most embarrassing fashions. So Gaultier just has to save his small reputation by winning the Ligue 1 title. At least that's the least he can do. So I think the focus ultimately, he has told his lawyers to respond, and he should leave it to his lawyers. Should focus on the tactics for the day, because PSG haven't been convincing. Yes, they won their last match, but the match before that and the match before that, they had that 1-0 loss. They had that knockout in the cup. It's a tough one. It hasn't been a great result. I think regardless of what happens, even if he wins the title this season, he's gone.
Gone.
Gone. But you can as well go with a trophy. It's better.
That's true.
All right. So let's close. Let's round up the show with your messages. Omoribe says,
Tega, of course, Mane will try to justify his lashing out by trying to play the victim. Does he have any witness to confirm Sane said what he claimed he said? No.
But I know he's not matcha. He doesn't just knock out people like that. It's not Luis Suarez that just bites people for no reason. Educate from Ogba says, Fede Valverde learned from the best. Zidane not to respond on the pitch in front of cameras.
Wow.
Yeah, but there were too many witnesses and it has become a police case. So Tiger says,
the law of interpretation doesn't apply to Team Hard, Webb, and Son. They are sent, but don't try to the player. He's guilty before writing a statement.
Yep. And it says, with all the
analysis of problems in the locker room, Chelsea have not scored one goal, even an own goal.
They should have played Manchester United. Harry Maguire will help them. All right, and that's all we can take on the locker room. So come back on Monday with your banter, because I'm sure there will be banter. But
Tega, you sound so gleeful. It's like
I like banter. But till then, let's leave the studio for Zibby to take over the show.
All right, thanks, Tega. That's all the time for the locker room. Do stay with us. Lagos Talk starts